where all citizens will be equal, will have equality of opportunity, whether you are from the south or from the north, from the west or from the east, whether you are a Muslim or a Christian. And at the end of the interim period, we will still exercise their right of self-determination, which is very close to the heart of Junubin. So brothers and sisters, we are on track, and I encourage you to invest in all the tracks. I thank you very much for listening to me. And finally, before I leave, I want again to thank our hosts. I want to thank Iowa State and those who organized this function. Also to Grinnell College. I say that I'm very happy to be here, and this has been a homecoming for me because Iowa is my second home. As I said before, if I live to be 80, I shall have spent 10% of my life here. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you very much.
We have about 15 or 20 minutes left before we will need to move out of this facility. If you would like to ask questions, Dr. Garang, there is a microphone about halfway back. If you'd like to do so, we can take here. Go ahead. Go to the mic, yeah, so we can all hear.
Dr. Garang, I'd like to ask about, in your negotiations and attempting to achieve Model 2, what your goals are for the oil, for the water, and for the canal that you wrote your thesis about.
Also, one other thing, when you ask your questions, you tell us who you are, etc. too. Sorry about that. Okay.
It is important. It is good that you ask a question on oil, because oil is a conflicting resource in the Sudan. And our position about the oil is very clear. The government is using oil in the war. It is buying helicopter gunships, and with these gunships, helicopter gunships, tanks, building a war industry, and these are being used against us. Only a few weeks ago, these helicopter gunships, they bombed innocent civilians in a World Food Program distribution center in a village in western Upper Nile called Bia, killing 26 people and wounding more than 200. So the oil revenues, and this is now it stands at about $500 million per year, and it will double in a year's time. 80% of the oil revenues are being used in the war, for the war, for the government war effort. And so therefore, the oil companies that are investing in southern Sudan at the present in the oil fields, they either stopped voluntarily oil exploitation on behalf of the regime, or we will stop them. That is it is as simple as that, and we have served them warning. that they remain there at their own risk. We do not target their personnel, nor are we against oil development. However, it is our natural right of self-defense to see to it that these oil fields are closed down. The unity we have just achieved with those of Dr. Riek Machar and Taban Dengai here will expedite this process of the closure of the oil fields. It is because of this division in 1991 that enabled the government in the first place to exploit the oil, because it was attempted before in 1984. And we closed that development down. We will close it down again. Already, Lundin Oil Company of Sweden and the Austrian OMV Oil Company have already withdrawn from the area as a result of the pressure that we are making in the area. It is a matter of time, and these oil companies will move out. And when peace is achieved, we will definitely be eager to have oil development. But these unscrupulous oil companies that are now investing in the Sudan, it is completely unacceptable to us. With respect to the Jonglei Canal project, on which, as I wrote my PhD dissertation, in my dissertation, I'm not opposed to the Jonglei Canal, nor am I opposed to the Jonglei Canal now. What I stress is the environmental damage that it can do, and indeed has done, because it has cut the migration routes of animals, for example, although it has not been completed. And secondly, that the people of the Jonglei Canal area must benefit from the Jonglei Canal itself. It should not just be a hole that sucks water northwards. It should be a facility that benefits all the people in the canal area. That remains my position. I have been to Egypt many times, and I have stated this position. Even now, if the Egyptians want to come and look at the excavation equipment, they are welcome to do so. It's a huge equipment. It's as big as this hall. And it is still intact. It is behind our lines. So we are not against its development, but we are for its equitable use, so that it does not become a point of conflict, but rather a point of peaceful coexistence of the peoples in the area.
Thank you, Dr. John. I'm very excited to see you because I work in Malakal with the Sudan Council of Churches. My name is Garang. You may not know me, but in Malakal, the Sudan government called me agent of John Garang. And I'm very excited to see you. I wish to be shaking your hand so that I know who was my my boss and my leader when I was in Malakal. So I have written a short note here, which I can hand over to you when I'm done with my question. I have also a message from your friend in Tennessee, Reverend Peter, who actually wrote a very exciting note as I read it. He told me that the unity between the SPLA and SPDF is exciting for all Sudanese and encourages you to persuade any remaining groups to join the SPLA, SPLF.
He says to go ahead and read it to the group here. Read from Reverend Lowell.
Well, okay, I will write on my note also, but I will read it to him. And he said that I wanted to, in the meeting in Tennessee, I wanted to say something, but was not able to because I did not get the opportunity. This is what I wanted to say.